And the vast majority of the things you test just don't matter, right? Like, I worked with a lot of data-driven teams, and this always blew their minds. I like to flip the statistical significance calculation on its head. And the vast majority of the things you test just don't matter, right? Like, so at Ladder, we ran 8,000 tests over 6 years, and we documented all of them. And we found, I think it was only 35% of them declared a winner, and the average uplift was about 20%, right? So yeah, I mean, but that's actually higher than the reported kind of industry benchmarks, right? Like, usually people say it's 1 in 10. We were a smart team, right? And we internally thought that was a good idea to test, and the client approved it, right? Which is another filter. So even with those two massive filters of growth marketers who knew what they're doing, and the client who is a startup founder who is very, very smart, wouldn't be in the position they're in if they weren't. They also thought it was a good idea, and still we were wrong much more than we were right. I like to flip the statistical significance calculation on its head because, I worked with a lot of data-driven teams, and this always blew their minds. I worked with Booking.com, and they said, "Well, we're not allowed to put anything live unless we get a statistically positive result." And I'm like, okay, but what does statistical significance mean, right? Statistical significance means that you've proven there was a difference between the variations. So if you get an insignificant result, it's the same as saying, there is no observable difference between these variations. So you should just go with the one you like, right? There's no, if you can't prove that there's a difference, then why are you sticking with the one that you hate, right? Just go with the one that you like. Why? That's actually license. You've proven that it's not worse, right? A lot of people think about let's stick with what we have and prove that this other variation is better, but you can flip it on its head and kind of move a lot faster and then not suffer from analysis paralysis if you just instead think about testing as a way to avoid really stupid mistakes.